Oh, okay. Great. All right. So, a lot of people have been asking about story times because I have a whole lot of stories that's happened in my life, right? First and foremost, I just want to let you guys know I'm sitting in front of a fan because I'm hot natured. Can't cut the AC on because I'm gonna freeze everybody out in the house, right? All right. So, I guess I'm gonna title this little story "To Pledge or Not to Pledge," um, and I'm gonna try to give y'all a little background of what's going on. So, I was going to one college, and me and my cousin decided to go over to another college, right? We were through our classes. We would go over to other colleges to visit. I think they were like about 30 minutes away or whatever. So we're over there, and I'm meeting one of my cousin's friends. I'm gonna call my cousin Tanya. I'm gonna call her guy friend Brian, and I'm gonna call his friend Terrence, right? So we went over there. We met her friend Brian, and he was like super cool. He was a church guy, of course, but that don't mean you can't be cool because you're a church guy, right? So we were hanging out with him, and he's like, "Oh, okay, well, since your friend, which is me." Mo, since she's cool, I want her to be cool with like my friend or whatever, which is Terrence, right? So, Terrence, so finally we come back over the next day, and there's Terrence. Terrence is like this tall, like caramel complected, had the waves. He was casual dressed, and this is basically, like I said, back in the early 2000s where the casual guys, well, guys were actually dressing casual and not sagging their pants and what have you, right? So, okay. So we're like laughing and talking with him, and he's telling me that he wants to pledge for this fraternity. I'm not gonna say their name. I'm gonna make a little noise. Listen, he wanted to pledge. Okay. So if you know what I'm talking about, don't say nothing out loud because I'm not here to bash that fraternity. I just want to tell what was going on, right? So every time we met Terrence, he was always talking about always, always. So we knew he was going to pledge, right? So he would talk to us. He's like bragging about the fraternity. This is what he wants to do. It's all great. Cool, right? So we like, are you sure you want to, pledge? And so we were like, because, we've heard all kinds of stories about like hazing or whatever, right? And so he's like, they don't do that. I've been to the probate shows and I'm going to do this. And I talk to them and, they would see him on campus and speak or what have you. And we just like, oh, okay, well, cool, whatever. And so fast forwarding to pledge week, right? That week we decided to go over there. Now keep in mind, I don't know, this is back when. So if things are different now, so be it, okay? So moving along, once we got ready to come over there, different to this other college, come back to the other college after a random day of class, we caught the word, listen, if you're going to come on campus, don't talk to the guys, don't say anything. You never know who's going to say what or do what, because right now, this is when people are pledging. This is pledge week, right? So I'm like, okay, whatever. We get there, we're there to see some friend girls anyway, so it was like, okay, whatever, fine. So we ended up staying like late that night, and the news reports, which we shouldn't have been over there anyway, because the news reports was like, well, it's going to be a freeze. This is going to be like the coldest winter ever according to, the history or whatever. So, I don't know, maybe we were just some little giddy college girls and we just didn't pay any attention, or I don't know. But we were over there. So, nighttime hits and we're actually walking towards the quad area, okay? So, the quad, it's like we have to pass the quad area to get to where we had parked. And so we're walking, and we haven't really seen anyone. Campus is just dead besides the people we came to see in their dorm rooms or whatever. So that was fine. And so I'm walking, we walking past the library to the quad area, and I'm like, Tanya, no, I'm sorry, not Tanya, her name is not Tanya. We'll call her Tanya. Tanya was like, okay, listen. And we were just talking about some stuff. I don't know what the heck we were talking about. Because, I'm telling the story in 2019. But I can't tell you the meat of everything. So, all of a sudden, I'm like, I got something to tell you. And I'm like, it's a secret. And she's like, okay, sure, shoot, you can tell me. And I said, oh my God, I really feel like I'm being watched right now. And so she's like, girl, quit playing crazy. Are you serious? No, look, you look to your left, look to the right. Besides like the, I'm gonna call them street lights. Besides the street lights or whatever, that's the only lights that was out there. There was no one around. You heard no one wrestling around. You didn't hear no footsteps. It was nothing, right? And so in the quad area, they have this really, really super tall tree, right? And this all gonna tie together later. So we're getting ready to walk up towards this tree, and I stopped and I said, "Here's my secret." And then I got ready to tell her, and I said, "Oh my God, I feel like I'm being watched." And she's like, "Girl, what is wrong with you? Like, no one is around. What are you talking about?" I said, "I'm telling you, I feel like I'm being watched," right? So she's just chalking it up to the paranoia. Mind you, I just said it was Pledge Week, right? So I'm thinking, I said, well, I guess something's finna happen. Someone's finna pop out. It's something. So we start back walking because, mind you, this is like freezing weather, right? And I said, listen. And I looked up. I'm over here by the tree at this point. And I looked up, and I kid you not, there were 20 guys literally standing up in this tree. All of them. Pledge week, pledging, being hazed. These guys were literally in, every last one of them had white drawers on, white boxers. It's freezing weather. They're saying, put your pets up if you got pets. Do not be out. And these guys were standing there in their drawers. Imagine, it was like literally like having a tree of men. And I'm like, I'm nudging Tanya. I'm like, Tanya, look up in the trees. Now, is that the heater being cut on? Oh, okay. Anyway, so I'm like, okay. Oh, I got gas. Jesus, Lord have mercy. This had to happen right about now. But anyway, I said, Tanya, look, and I'm nudging her, and she's like, I'm not looking up. You're being crazy. Okay, and I'm like, no. Don't say nothing out loud. Just look up. I said, but be slow about it. She slowly looked up, and it was like, she's like, oh my God. And I said, Tanya, I told you somebody was around, but you didn't believe me. And we was like, oh my God. And so, this pledge week, and I'm knowing they're not allowed to talk. But see, that didn't stop my mouth, though. That didn't stop my mouth at all. I was like, oh my God, guys, do you know that it's freezing out here? And we were like literally talking them down, like, listen, y'all can't do this. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth pledging. So we got to looking around, and there's Terrence, right? So I'm like, you know what? Them guys ain't gotta listen to me. But Terrence finna come down from that tree. So, they're literally looking at us like, listen, we can't talk to you. We can't talk to you, right? So I'm like, Terrence, you ain't gotta say a word. Ain't none of y'all gotta say a word. I'm gonna talk to all y'all. And literally, I just started like witnessing to them and telling them like, listen, this is freezing weather. This is cold weather. You guys are out here in your drawers. This is not worth it. It's literally not worth it. These people are sitting up there saying that they don't haze, and I'm seeing a hazing process right before my eyes, right? So it was like every guy in that tree was looking. And I said, okay, now, gotta keep in mind, they don't want me around. I'm not supposed to be seeing this. And I didn't know if this could go left or not. Now, finally, after like refusing to leave, one of the guys was like, it's cold. It's cold, and you don't need to be out here. And I'm like, no! It's cold and you don't need to be out here, And so actually he broke the line because he wasn't supposed, well, I guess you break the line or however you want to call it. Anyway, so he broke because he wasn't supposed to talk. So now he's officially out of pledging for And I was telling them, I'm like, listen, if all of y'all band together and don't tell that this guy is talking, it's gonna be fine. Because the head person that's supposed to be around, these folks curled up in their bed sleep. I'm knowing this for a fact. I mean, I could just pick it up in my, down up in my shanana. I knew about it. I knew it. So, finally, Terrence talks, and Terrence is like, I'm gonna do this. This is what I want to do. Don't worry about me. I'm gonna be okay. And another guy was like, yeah, we're gonna be fine. We want to come down, but we can't. Yada 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 yada. And so I'm still not at this point. Tanya's going off. She's talking. And I'm like, I know you guys are listening. Y'all ain't got no choice. Y'all sit up here, have just basically almost naked. And I'm like, I can sit up there and see everything. Because mind you, the street light is shining up against these white boxers. And I'm looking up at everybody like, this is crazy. So finally we left or whatever. We didn't have no choice but to leave. Because I mean, come on. How long can you really stand there and talk to yourself because they not listening? So we get ready to walk off, and all of a sudden we hear all this rustling in the leaves. So, mind you, out of 20 guys that's half naked, we only know one guy, right? So we hear all of this wrestling and stuff, and we just literally like, look, we bolted. Like, we took off running. I left Tanya in the wind. I'm a track star in this piece because I don't know what y'all finna do because y'all didn't want me talking to y'all from the beginning, but it's really breaking my heart to see these brothers dang near freeze to death trying to join a line. Okay, or trying to join a fraternity. So, because they're already, pledging on the line. But anyway, so, I'm running, and so my cousin's pressing the key fob because she's like, okay, well, if I don't make it, she gonna make it. Lock yourself in if you can, So what happened was, was it two of the guys or three? I'm gonna say two. I think it was two of the guys actually came down from that tree. One ran somewhere. The other one ran to security. And he showed up to security. Security took him to the hospital, which was up the street. So it was only like 5 minutes away, right? So this guy, because this made the news, right? This guy, literally, the doctors and the nurses told him, had he stayed in that tree 5 more minutes, he would have died. This guy was frostbitten. I mean, seriously. And mind you, it was super cold because this is Mississippi. So it was super cold, but it wasn't snowing. But it was like a freeze like crazy. And so Terrence comes down and, well, I don't know where he was because we was running. We left. We warmed up. We locked ourselves, warmed up the car, and finally we just left. We went right on back. We wouldn't talk about it. We came back weeks later only to find out we were the talk of campus because one of the people in the tree told, I don't know who the people are, but told whoever's in everything. Literally told the conversation word for word, told everything. So at this point, Terrence didn't make the line. Okay, the guy who told the people at the hospital, that made the news. So that was talking as well. He didn't make the line. And I want to say it was somebody else that dropped. But everybody else made it but them, right? So, excuse me, I didn't mean that. So afterwards, weeks later, we pop up, we see Terrence again. Terrence is like, I didn't make the line. I thank you for what you did. I didn't see it. I just didn't see it. I was so into trying to make, and he just didn't think about it. Well, weeks later turned into months later, and they felt like he didn't make the line. They were supposed to keep his car keys. This man had been going there week after week after week after week, begging for his car. Mind you, this was, actually he was borrowing the car. It was his sister's car. And so she's like, what's the problem? Why you're not coming home? Yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, if you want me to go over there, I'll go over there and get your keys. Cause I thought I was so bad. So anyway, he told me not to do it. But I was like, this is what you need to do. Go over there, get your keys. If they don't want to give you your keys, hold your cell phone out, have 911, and report your car stolen. So he actually went over there and did that, and they actually threw his keys at him and kicked him on out. But anyway, that was just one of my story times. Just me personally, I've been approached about pledging a sorority. I just never did it. I had my own personal reasons why. And it was crazy how the chick kept trying to pressure me, y'all. I thought I was gonna have to snap on her, but I didn't. But anyway, that's just one of my story times. I got 100 stories left. See y'all later. Bye.